Many people imagine that defeating a narcissist involves a dramatic confrontation, a powerful speech, or finally getting them to admit everything they've done. In reality, it rarely happens that way. The greatest victory over a narcissist often occurs so quietly that most people don't recognize it at first. The moment you stop participating in their games, stop chasing explanations, and stop allowing them to control your emotions, something shifts. While you begin reclaiming your peace, the narcissist starts losing something they desperately depended on. The signs of that loss don't usually appear in your behavior. Instead, they begin showing up in theirs, often in ways that reveal just how much control they've lost. One of the clearest signs that a narcissist has truly lost their influence over you is the sudden rise of a smear campaign. At first, this can feel discouraging because you may hear rumors, false accusations, or strange stories being shared behind your back. Mutual friends may start acting differently, and people who barely know you may suddenly have opinions about your life. However, this behavior often signals something important. Narcissists depend heavily on controlling the narrative around them. When you remove yourself from their influence, you become a threat to that carefully constructed image. The smear campaign is often nothing more than an attempt to protect a story that is beginning to fall apart. Another common sign appears after a period of silence. Once the narcissist realizes that their attempts to control the narrative are not working, they often try a different strategy. Suddenly, they reach out with unexpected kindness, concern, or curiosity. Sometimes it comes through a direct message, other times it arrives through mutual friends or family members. This behavior is often called hoovering because the goal is to pull you back into the relationship dynamic. It is important to understand that this is rarely about genuine change or personal growth. More often, it is an attempt to restore access to the attention, emotional reactions, and influence they once received from you. Recognizing this pattern is a major step toward maintaining your freedom. A narcissist who has lost control often begins performing for an audience. This behavior can be subtle at first, but once you notice it, the pattern becomes difficult to ignore. They may suddenly flood social media with posts about how happy they are, showcase new relationships, highlight achievements, or create an image of a perfect life that seems unusually public. These displays are rarely random. They are often designed to send a message, provoke a reaction, or make you question your decision to walk away. Rather than focusing on genuine healing, they focus on appearances. Their goal is to regain influence indirectly by making you doubt yourself, miss them, or wonder if they have truly changed. One of the most revealing signs that a narcissist is struggling is when they begin losing composure during ordinary moments. This doesn't usually happen during major confrontations. Instead, it appears unexpectedly in everyday situations. You might notice a sudden flash of irritation, an unusually sharp comment, or an emotional reaction that seems completely out of proportion to what happened. Because narcissists invest so much effort into maintaining a controlled image, these small cracks can reveal far more than dramatic outbursts. What you're seeing is the growing tension between the person they pretend to be and the emotions they are trying to suppress. As your emotional independence increases, maintaining that mask becomes more difficult, and those hidden frustrations begin leaking through. As time passes, something unexpected begins to happen. The narcissist becomes increasingly frustrated by your lack of reaction. In the past, they could predict your responses, trigger your emotions, and pull you back into familiar patterns. Now, those tactics no longer work. Your silence, your boundaries, and your emotional distance create a situation they cannot easily control. This loss of influence often feels threatening to them because their confidence depends heavily on external validation. The less access they have to your attention, the more unsettled they become. While they may appear calm on the surface, internally they are struggling to understand why their usual methods are no longer producing the results they once relied on. Eventually, the most important transformation takes place, and it has nothing to do with the narcissist. It happens within you. There comes a point where their actions stop dominating your thoughts. You no longer spend hours analyzing conversations, questioning your decisions, or wondering what they are doing. The emotional grip they once held begins to weaken. This stage can feel strange because many people expect healing to arrive as happiness or excitement. More often, it arrives as indifference. You stop feeling the need to prove anything, explain yourself, or seek validation. The narcissist may still be playing games, but those games no longer have a willing participant. That emotional detachment is one of the clearest signs that you have truly started reclaiming your life and personal freedom. The ultimate victory over a narcissist is not exposing them, defeating them in an argument, or making them suffer the way they made you suffer. Real victory is much simpler and far more powerful than that. It is building a life that no longer revolves around them. It is rediscovering your confidence, reconnecting with your passions, and investing your energy into people who value honesty, respect, and genuine connection. As you continue healing, your perspective changes. The person who once seemed impossible to escape becomes increasingly irrelevant to your future. You begin recognizing manipulation more quickly and setting stronger boundaries without guilt. Most importantly, you realize that freedom was never about changing the narcissist. It was about reclaiming yourself. The moment you stop needing them to understand, apologize, or change is the moment you truly win.